What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Well, guys, the Indianapolis Colts took care of business in a very tightly contested game against the Arizona Cardinals. And I want to kind of talk about some things that were good, some things that were bad, talk about some studs and duds from that game. But before we do that, just want to let you guys know that this episode is sponsored by FanDuel. Shout out to FanDuel. They're going to be our sponsor for the 2025 regular season and hopefully playoffs if the Colts continue their winning ways, but we will just have to see. Now, when looking at the Indianapolis Colts and their playoff odds continue to get better with each win. Right now, the Colts sit at negative 500 to make the playoffs, so be sure to get in on that. If the Colts keep winning, those odds are going to continue to get better for them. So if that's something you're wanting to do, be sure to check out FanDuel. And there's so many other things, guys, like Super Bowl odds, win totals, and then you can look at individual games like the Chargers games. Actually, Indianapolis right now is not the favorite. The Chargers are the favorite by 1.5 right now. So be sure to check out all that stuff, guys, when it comes to FanDuel. But again, shout out to them. Really do appreciate it. All right. So in this game, there was definitely a lot of good. There was definitely a lot of bad. And I want to kind of start with some of the bad, some of the duds in this game, in my opinion. I think when you just look at the defense in general, I mean, it was very obvious that this defense was very battered down from all the different injuries that they've sustained. But there were certainly other positions that you look at and you just say, man, like you have no excuse for why you were as poor as you were. And I think the first thing you got to look at is just this pass rush in general. It really felt like, for the most part, the pass rush was a dud. I mean, Jacoby Brissett was able to stay pretty comfortable all day long, honestly, able to slice and dice your defense pretty much all day long. I think you did a pretty solid job in that first half, but second half, things just kind of fell apart, weren't really able to get sacks. But the sacks you did get, especially the one that Kwity Paye did get, was massive in this game. But you just really feel like it's very obvious through 6 weeks. Pass rush is still a huge problem for this team. They need to figure something out. And I know that's why a lot of people have said you need to go make a swing trade here for a player like a Trey Hendrickson or somebody like that. Get an elite pass rusher in here, and that will solve a lot of your problems. And so I kind of tend to agree. I think right now, Laiatu Latu has not proven to be that guy through 6 weeks. Again, he's still only entering year 2, so there's still plenty of time, but it's very obvious this pass rush, it's either feast or famine with this group. So to get a consistent pass rusher in here, I think would be massive, but it definitely was an issue again yesterday. And this is the pass rush room that's healthy. So you got to figure this out with this defensive line. You got to get more pressure on the quarterback. And I think you maybe need to start, throwing some bench guys in for some more roles, right? A guy like Adi Tamuadabawari, who had a few pressures yesterday, give him more of a role. JT Tuimuluau, give him more of a role. And like I said, even making a trade for an impact pass rusher would be huge for this defense. But all in all, pass rush definitely left a lot to be desired yesterday, and a reason why Jacoby Brissett was able to stand back there and find a lot of wide open players was because you could not even touch him a lot of the time. So pass rush certainly an issue. Linebacker continues to be an issue, even with the addition of Jermaine Pratt. Linebackers looked lost yesterday. No tackling, no coverage on the tight ends. It was an issue. It was a problem. Continues to be a problem. Your defensive captain, your linebacker Zaire Franklin, just a dumb penalty that was potentially going to, if you didn't commit that penalty, Arizona's in 3rd and long, and then you make that penalty 15 yards, give them an automatic first down, they go down and score. Just dumb things like that from this linebacker room, that it's very obvious that if you don't address it here in the next couple weeks, it's got to be a huge focus this offseason. I mean, all the linebackers the Colts have been average to below average, honestly. So they've got to figure this out. I don't know if it's something you can solve here via the trade market or whatnot, but it's very obvious that the linebacker room is very, very poor. It's probably one of, if not the worst linebacker rooms in the NFL, to be honest with you. So yeah, I don't know what to do here with the linebacker room right now, but it's definitely continues to be an issue. And honestly, probably one of the more baffling things that Ballard did this offseason was not address that linebacker room at all. It was very obvious it was a need for this team, and it continues to be a need and continues to be a problem for this defense. So that was definitely something. I really just felt like the defense in general was very undisciplined. Just the undisciplinedness in terms of tackling. There are a lot of missed tackles in this game. And then it just seemed like a lot of guys out of position. And it just felt like the undisciplined nature of the defense was a huge dud in this game. And it felt like in that second half, especially outside of the last drive, your defense was lost. I mean, nobody knew what was going on. It was absolutely unacceptable. It was embarrassing to watch this defense not be able to tackle, not be able to cover. I mean, there was guys wide open for a majority of this game. I know you're down a lot of players, but it wasn't even like contested things and they're just better than you. It was there's guys running wide open and nobody's even in the vicinity. It definitely was a problem for sure in this game. And I think we just need to talk about how bad that is. When it comes to the offense, I don't think there's a ton of issues that you point to. I mean, you scored 31 points in this game. There's not a ton you can point to here, honestly. I mean, even for Daniel Jones's issues yesterday he had early on, I did feel like Daniel Jones was just fine and he played a lot better down the stretch. So he definitely is not going to be a guy I'm going to throw on this list at all. I really don't think there's anybody on the offense, honestly. You had a few issues there to start the game, a few issues down the stretch, but overall your offense was just fine. So I don't really think, I think it's more of a defensive thing for sure when you're looking at this. So that was definitely something there was pass rush, the tackling, obviously the injuries. That's something that you can't help, obviously. But pass rush, tackling, linebackers, those are the huge things here for the duds. And they were so bad that that really helped Arizona keep this game close and potentially Arizona. If the offense didn't step it up, Arizona's going to win that game. I mean, honestly. So defense, they need a lot of work here moving forward against a really good quarterback in Justin Herbert coming up against the Chargers. So Colts got to figure that out for sure. Now, moving over to the positives, some of the studs here, I mentioned it. The offense looked really, really good in this game for the most part. Sure, they had a few issues here and again, but this offense continues to be really, really good. I mean, Daniel Jones, for the issues, like I said, he had a few issues there, had a bad interception, had a couple high passes. All in all, Daniel Jones had 3 touchdowns yesterday, 2 passing, 1 rushing, and he was 70% completion percentage again. So continues to be efficient. Yeah, he had a bad turnover, but every quarterback does. So Daniel Jones continues to do what he's done, help keep the Colts offense in it, honestly. And, you know, when you're down by a touchdown, your defense can't stop anything. The offense had to go down and score. And Daniel Jones led that offense down there, and they scored. So, yeah, Daniel Jones, an absolute stud in this game. No doubt about that. Continues to be a stud week in and week out. No doubt about that. And Jonathan Taylor, another strong performance for him in this game. He was absolutely lighting up the Cardinals. He was running all over them in this game. And when you kind of look at Jonathan Taylor, he did finish this game against the Cardinals with 21 carries, 123 yards, and 1 touchdown. He averaged about 6 yards per carry. That ties the second most yards per carry this season for Jonathan Taylor. So he was an absolute stud in this game and obviously had the game-winning touchdown when it all came down to it. So JT, good bounce-back performance. I wouldn't say it was a bad performance, but, you know, 66 yards a week ago. Now he's over 100 again. And by far and away, the best running back in the NFL through 6 weeks. I mean, I think right now he's well over 100 yards between the second-place guys. So Jonathan Taylor's been that type of back this year for the Indianapolis Colts. Definitely another strong performance for Jonathan Taylor. Again, when you look also at some of the other players on this offense, Tyler Warren continues to be an absolute stud. I mean, he took control of that first drive of this game and just routinely was making key catches in this game. Tyler Warren, like I said before, he's probably just going to remain a stud like every single week he's going to be on this list, to be honest with you, because he's just that good. And some of the stuff you see, like the catches, and some of the stuff you don't see, the box score won't necessarily catch, like the run blocking that he provides there. I mean, he's just an absolute stud. Definitely one of the missing pieces of this Colts offense a year ago. So Tyler Warren's a stud. You know, also, I do believe that Josh Downs is another guy. Speaking of a guy that the box score won't always indicate exactly how impactful he is. I mean, Josh Downs had a couple of huge plays for the Indianapolis Colts to help them come away with a victory. He had a huge catch on 3rd and 8 on that final drive that set up the JT touchdown run, and really the difference between 6 and 3 there, right? The Colts don't convert that. Maybe they still go for it, but it's definitely something where you keep yourself out of fourth down. Josh Downs, like he did against the Raiders, he just continues to find space. And yeah, it was only an 8-yard game when you look at the stats, but that was a huge, huge third down catch there by Josh Downs. He had a touchdown earlier, a huge touchdown catch, took a big hit, still held on. So Josh Downs, the definition of a guy that's a lot better than stats indicate for sure. So shout out to Josh Downs there. Fantastic, fantastic stuff there from your slot wide receiver. I would say the best slot receiver in football, to be honest with you. I think he's right up there with anybody. So Josh Downs, an absolute stud in this game, no questions asked. And then I think the last player I want to mention here, when looking at these studs in this game, Alec Pierce, welcome back to Indianapolis and welcome back to actually being able to be on the field. We've missed you the last 2 weeks, Alec, and he definitely made his presence known, made a couple key catches. There was a fantastic throwing catch by Daniel Jones and Alec Pierce where he put it literally right where Alec Pierce could only catch it. And so Pierce had a couple of huge catches in this game that kept drives alive, and you definitely missed the element that he provided there. So, yeah, really the offense in general, I thought, looked really good. I mean, the offensive line, I thought, looked pretty solid all day long, although Daniel Jones did get sacked once. I mean, the offensive line protected him pretty well from there on out, and obviously opening holes for Jonathan Taylor to go over 120 rushing yards in this game. I think the offensive line also deserves a shout out here for the studs. They looked really good again, continue to be one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. So, yeah, guys, that really does it, though, for the studs and duds here. Again, shout out to FanDuel for sponsoring this episode. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Is there any players that I missed that you would throw on the studs or the duds list? I know it didn't go specific players more on the defense because it really was the defense in general altogether that was a problem yesterday. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. That'll do it for this one. Thanks so much, guys. And as always, go Colts.